here's what it's actually like to own a high mileage B58. Now, I've got pretty much every service history on this car since it came out of Calabasas, which is a lot because I'm currently sitting at 114,000 miles. Now, here's what it's actually like to own, modify, and daily a high mileage B58. Things I've actually had to do. I bought the car in August of 2023 at 86,000 miles. I've had it for pretty much spot on 2 years now. I've put about 30,000 on it since then. Let me check my math. Is that right? 98, 108, 118. Yeah, just under 30,000 miles on it in that 2 year time frame. And I want to talk about the issues that I've actually had with the vehicle. Naturally, everybody knows about the PCV failure. I unfortunately learned that the hard way. I was sitting in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and I hear this just god-awful whistling noise. If you have had a PCV failure on you from one of these engines, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I thought my turbo blew and I was absolutely tweaking about it, okay? Shortly after, I bought the Ross Racing PCV Delete Kit catch can with the VTA hose. Shout out Ross Racing, amazing company. So that's kind of issue number one that I had right off the rip was PCV Classic, right? Who would have guessed? Ross Racing Kit solved that. I think the total for that was somewhere in the $600 range. I don't actually count that as like a super large repair because the PCV itself is like 20 bucks. And you can just replace it. But this platform, I think the OCC catch can delete, PCV delete VTA is the way to go. $600 right there. Next, my driver front strut. I decided just wanted to go out. The vehicle's got a ton of mileage put on it across a whole bunch of different roads. So whatever, not surprising. Kind of bummed out I didn't get to drive on the factory suspension a little bit more, but ultimately it just gave me an excuse to buy coilovers. Nobody's gonna be mad about that. So kind of forced to buy coilovers. I've got BC Racing coilovers on there. $1,200, right? So $1,200, $600, $1,800 into this whole thing. And it's been about 5,000 miles or so at this point. Early on, I was kind of just, this is just normal car things, right? I found out the PCV is very normal, and then suspensions, 100,000 miles. Nothing that should keep you away from these cars. After that, drove the car like that for a while. First issue I had came kind of relatively soon after that. My oil filter housing absolutely exploded. Exploded to the point where I had coolant on underneath my hood, on my intake manifold, the belly pan. I mean, it just exploded. Naturally, happened mid-pull, of course. Pop noise, steam, panic. You know the feeling. Again, if you've been there, Towed to a local shop, that cost me $1,700. Again, I don't work on cars. I'm not gonna sit here in front and be like, I did the work myself. Hell no, no, I didn't. Towed that shit straight to a shop and paid them money. I do regret not getting the upgrade aluminum oil filter housing. That sucks, but you live and you learn. I didn't do much research. It was just kind of a panic, tow, get it. Again, it's my only car. Tow, get it fixed, pay money, okay? Convenience fee. That was my first large expense where I was like, damn, I just spent almost $2,000 fixing the car, not doing anything to make it faster or more fun or look better. This was just damn, I had to fix it. Oil changes every 5,000. I do use Liquimoly 530 Special Tech. I think that is the ideal oil to run in at least the Gen 1 B58s. That's advice from your stranger on the internet who's got 114,000 on his. So also Blackstone Labs. I'll throw up my Blackstone Labs report on the screen right now. Blackstone Laboratories. If you're not sending off oil samples, do it. It's $40 and they're awesome. The people over there are wonderful. I've had nothing but good experience with them. So shout out Blackstone Laboratories. Send off your oil if you're not. May the 4th, drove home, backed up in the driveway, parked it, and then my roommate comes in. He's like, "Hey, dude, you're leaking fluid everywhere." And I was like, "Why?" I just drove. It's 3 minutes after I parked. He comes in, just drove it. What's going on? Sure enough, I go out there and I'll put a picture. There's just coolant. I mean, it's just fluid everywhere. And I was like, okay, great. Here we go again. Tojo shop. There's a turbo coolant feed line that snapped. 100,000 mile coolant lines are going. You just have to set realistic expectations. You're going to have to replace coolant lines at some point. It's going to happen. Just a matter of when. There's a coolant flange, a couple miscellaneous coolant hoses. It ended up costing me another $1,600 to have fixed. So another $1,600. Those are the two only big repairs I've had. Oil filter housing for $1,800, turbo coolant feed line, and a couple of miscellaneous coolant hoses that went out on me. And I was right at 112,000 when that happened, 2,000 miles ago roughly. Those are the only two major incidents I've had, and it's right about $3,000, $3,200 in 30,000 miles, 2 years of ownership. I don't think that's that bad for the platform that you get, the performance you get, the luxury that you get. Like, it kind of checks all your boxes. You can go in comfort mode and cruise on the highway and get 30 miles to the gallon, or you can put in Sport Plus and rip side streets. You know, I think you just have to set expectations properly. It's not a Honda. It's not a Toyota. It's a performance luxury sedan. At the end of the day, it's just a 3 Series. But all in all, 30,000 miles, $3,000. I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that cost breakdown. And I drive the vehicle hard a lot. It's my daily. That's the whole point of this. This is my daily. I drive the vehicle hard. I drive a lot. And to only have 2 major issues is pretty damn good. That's a realistic breakdown of what the vehicle has cost me since ownership. 2 years, 30,000 miles. The Discord link will be on my YouTube if you're seeing this on TikTok. If you're seeing this on YouTube, join the Discord. My TikTok will be linked in the YouTube description as well. So you guys know the drill.